And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a red fish, blue fish. I think that's good. We got art in the house. That's good. We got art in the house. We got CS Bond in the house. We got Rod Shelley in the house. All right, let's check the sound over on the YouTube. This YouTube. Where am I? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type YouTube. I'm going to come over here. I'm not going to show you all the common YouTube channels I watch. Is it Coachella already? Is it that time? Oh, where are we? I'm going to my channel. View your channel, it says. We're getting there. We are that close to finishing up the swimsuit. At least as much as we're going to do on stream, I think. At least as much as we're going to do on stream. Alright, YouTube is sounding good. Twitch is sounding good. I've got my outfit. So the last thing we've got left to do is make the hierarchical material files for Genesis 8. Everything else I think is done. We'll probably do a few tests. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle it over into a new directory. We're going to test everything in there. There is a special tool that Daz vendors get to use, so we're going to run that. It's called Validator, and what it does is it checks the files for things like capitalization, missing texture files that aren't called by anything, unused texture files, unused data files. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this all over into a new directory. I'm going to run that, but I'm going to run it off to the side on another screen. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about that. Probably not at all, but it's too late. I just talked about it. Anyhow, so we're going to do that, and then it's going to tell me some things are wrong, and then we're going to fix those. And then we just got to do promos, and I could submit this to Daz. So let's do this. We still just have to do these hierarchical materials, though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all these G9 ones and use them as a starting point. Just kind of reminds me what we need to do here. We're coming over here, hierarchical, and I'm just going to paste all of that stuff right in there. Whoops. Right in there. I'm going to delete. I'm going to leave that one right there. I think that's good. But we're going to rename all of this stuff in a second. What are you? Who do you belong to? Why do you say IDs? I got to resave that. Look at that. That's a crappy name. Well, we're also going to clean up all our stuff and make sure it's looking good. So what do we got you on? I have no idea. There's a Genesis 8 female. There's a Genesis 9. You. Oh, I know what you are. Yeah, you're an OBJ file. You're not an actual figure, so that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to come in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring these visible. I'm going to move this off to the side. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to build the hierarchical materials for Genesis 8 right here. Oops. Does she have a swimsuit on? Does she have a... Why are you... You know, some days Daz is being a butt. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's load that... I got a heater turned on, and I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. I couldn't hear it when I was listening. I'm sorry, Rod. Well, I'm glad you're not feeling quite like a poop emote right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're going to do this. I'm going to put this outfit on her. We're going to do that. Nope, you don't hear it. All right. I must have a noise gate on the mic or something. It's still a little cool. It's in the 40s. And by the 40s, I mean 41. And I am wearing a short sleeve shirt while streaming. So I do have a heater turned on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. Yo, it's Blux5 with a raid with 10 people. Blux, how are you doing? And Blix Twix, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We have been, for the last 10 streams or so, making this swimsuit for Daz Studio. And there's another follow. Wired Tangenti? Tangent? Is that Wired Tangent. It's the weird capitalizations always throw me off. Thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate it. I could call you Chris. Oh, just what we need. Another Chris around. Well, welcome in, other Chris. What we got Chris and Chris, and now we've got Chris and Chris. You got Chris with a K and the other Chris with a K, and now the Chris with a CH and the other Chris with a CH. It's like Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. Only it's Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, and Daryl, and Daryl. In Painter Studio. Not a Chris. But welcome in. I appreciate the coming in and saying hi. So our project has been making this swimsuit. This is for Daz Studio. There's an awful lot of really boring stuff, and we've been doing that on stream. So today, the last things, well, we're getting really close to the end. I've heard about that guy. That rat bastard took my name. I totally was going to sign up as Chris Alcox, but he took it. Yeah, so this outfit started in a Marvelous Designer, has been brought over to the Daz. It's been textured up with Substance Painter. We made more for it using ZBrush, using GoZ, and Marvelous Designer. So right now we are doing material files in Daz Studio. This is kind of like the last thing, and then I'm going to move it into a test file. Then we have to check it and clean it up, and this might be the last time I work on this on stream. So we'll see how that works out. Well, I'm glad to see you here. So we are making hierarchical material files. So this should be the first one, and that should be right there. So I should be good with this. But I'm going to double check this one. So I'm going to set this up. So what I'm going to do is I have an invisible Genesis 9 right there. I'm going to apply the material files to that. Then we're going to copy them to this. Then we're going to save them out for Genesis 8. Hierarchical material files are weird. They have to be specific for the groups that they're with. Because what it'll do is it'll apply the materials to all objects. Or actually in this case, I've got a camera, a top, and a bottom. So the hierarchical material file will apply to everything I wanted it applied to this group. But the ones for Genesis 9 won't work for... See, it won't work for the Genesis 8s. So I have to make new Genesis 8 ones. So what I'm going to do is overwrite these G9 ones. Yo, Chris, how are you doing? Oh, and I missed Chris when he popped in. Chris has got stealth named. Look at that. I can't see that. Just having dinner, enjoying the vibes. Glad to see you, buddy. Alright, so I'm going to copy these surfaces over to here. Then we're going to save this out over here. I'm going to rename stuff in here. So we're going to do that first. We're going to do some organization. And I think I've already opened this up. So we're going to... And I've got Windows Power Tools for renaming files. So this is just... I'm going to rename everything, but I'm going to delete these two. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to rename all of this, except for that. Okay, and then we're just going to use the power renamer here. Rename with the power rename. How could I have missed him? You shouted him out when you came in. It's easy. There's too much stuff. You know me. If I get a comment every 2 minutes, it's going too fast. Okay, so for the power rename, I'm going to rename G9 to G8 female. G9 is going to become G8 female. And maybe we take the cap lock off and try that again. G8 female, and I'm going to capitalize that G there. I'm going to make sure that should probably be I don't think that makes a difference though. So I think we're good there. Still waiting for that voice command. I got a voice command. I made a voice command for you, Charles. Hold on. Let me see if I can remember what it was. Hey, bud. That's it. Exclamation point, hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Let's party.
There you go, Charles. That's a little loud. Can I turn that down? I don't know. Was that a little loud for you all or just me? Let's try that. Did you even hear that, Charles? I can't tell. So I currently have... And I think I set that one to be for mods and VIPs. I have a couple others I've been working on, but they're not limited, and I've got too many people in here.
Hey, bud. Let's party.
There you go. That should get my attention. I'm going to turn that down maybe a little bit more. See if that works. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Oh, I moved my screen. Did that... Almost forget you were streaming. Almost. And then suddenly, we're partying, dude. It's like it's 1999. Let's try that. I don't know if that made a difference. I'm renaming things. I'm in the middle of renaming things. You're going to do a voice command for you in my voice? You save it for me, dude, and I'll use it. I'm learning how to use StreamerBot, so it's kind of cool. So I was able to set those up super easy. So I just started using StreamerBot. It's the reason why I've got my chats working better now. And let's apply. And I'm going to hope that worked. Let's go take a look. I'm going to refresh. Okay, this is, I got to tweak these just a little bit, I think. I got to probably fix this. Actually, I probably just want to delete this, don't I? I think I'm just going to delete that. We're going to resave this over that. We're going to turn the, so let's delete. I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to select this. We're going to turn off the smart content, the database, because that'll slow things down. So we're coming down to, where is my smart content? Did I lose my smart content again? I must have moved it somewhere. Don't you just hate it when you've misplaced your smart content? Something in here say smart content? There it is. Alright, but we're going to turn it off. We're going to stop it. And I'm going to do the smart way to stop it. Because last time we did fast way, it did not go well. Okay, smart content is now turned off. The reason we do that is it's a database, and every time I save something into the library, it updates the database, and it takes minutes to do that. If I turn it off, it doesn't update the database, and it saves things really fast. And I don't care about saving stuff into the database, so I'm going to select this. We're going to resave this over that. So here we go. Save as a hierarchical material preset. This is going to be the black and the aqua. I'm going to save that just to make sure. I'm going to say yes. We are not saving the Genesis 8 figure settings, but we are saving the swimsuit and the camera. And I'm accepting that. Alright, should be good. Okay, now we're just going to... I'm going to copy the settings from this to this. This is going to be a little tedious. I think that doesn't have any mesh on it, so I'm going to copy that surface. And actually, let's do it this way. I can select that, that, and that. You are, dang it, that, and that. Which one are you? You are that front panel, so I can copy you. And I think I can paste. Here, we'll do this. You know what? I'm just going to paste it over the whole thing, and then we'll do the trim. Paste to selected surfaces. Okay, then I'm just going to grab this trim and copy that color. Then we're just going to update all the trims over here. There should be 2 and 4, so 6. So just do edit, paste onto that. So that is done and ready to be saved. So we're going to save that over this. Aqua silver, there we go. Say yes. Don't save the Genesis. Do save those and accept. Okay. Click over here. Alright, so this is currently the Genesis 9 version. Don't let the fact that says 8 fool you. So this has got mesh here and here. So we're going to copy, do 3 copies. I'm going to take that, that, and that. So I'm going to copy this to these. This is exciting stuff, isn't it? This is why you all turn. This is why Blux raided me. Blux is going, you know, I want to watch something that's almost as exciting as doing retopization. Almost. This is almost as exciting as that. I'm going to do a paste. I'm going to grab this trim, apply it to the other trim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to paste that. Okay, this has got mesh on the front and these sides. Dang it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this panel here and paste it to front panel and bottom sides. There we go. And then we're going to save that out. And that's 3 down, 9 more to go, 8 more to go. I don't know. Chris, are you able to extract audio files? Extract it from what? I can pull it from a video. I've been pulled. That's where I got that Fast Times clip. I pulled it from the copy of Fast Times. MP4. Yeah, I can get it off the MP4 using Premiere Pro. Oh, I pay so much for that goddamn Adobe Cloud subscription. I might as well use it. Something other than just Photoshop and Illustrator and Acrobat. Am I saving you? I am saving you as a material hierarchical preset. We're going to overwrite that. I'm going to say yes. We're going to not choose that and choose those, and we're good to go. You can do it with Handbrake. Yeah, either way, if you can do it and put it into an MP3. If not, if you just want to give me the MP4, I can just extract it from that as well. Okay, green is done. We're moving on to pink. Okay, so the pink one is just pink and white, I think. So we're just going to copy this, apply it to these, copy that trim. I think that's just white. And put that on the trim over here. And then save that. We are saving the camera too, but the cameras we're not changing. We have two cameras. We just have a clean camera and a dirty camera, and right now we're doing clean texture sets. So Hierarchical Material preset, we're going to save that over here. Say yes to that. And accept. I'm missing something. I think I'm missing something. We'll double check. Don't save that, accept that. White, I'm missing the clean white. You sent it an MP4 and a DM. All right. Sounds good. All right, come over here. Do this. That is red and gold. And I did not use any fancy mesh stuff with that one. So we select all of that. Take this, copy it. Paste that to, I'm just gonna, it's easier for me to just paste it to everything and then just paste the gold trim to the trim parts. Trim, 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 and I missed that one over there. There we go. Save that. There we go. I think these are going red and gold. Say yes. Don't save that and accept. All right, let's go take a look and see if I did a white one for Genesis 9. There's supposed to be a white one. Oh no, there's a yellow one. I didn't do a white one. I do have a black and yellow. Black and yellow got lost. Okay, we're going to copy you. Come over here. Just paste that in here. Okay, I'm going to rename that 8LE female. Okay, Genesis, so I'm going to apply that to this. So I got a little fancy with this one. So we got yellow and black, and then we got mesh. Do I got mesh there? No, that's not mesh. That's just yellow. No, that is mesh. I do have mesh there. Do I have mesh there? No, I don't. It just looks weird. Okay. I'm just driving myself crazy. All right, so we're going to copy that. Come over here and here. And you know what? I'm just going to turn them both completely yellow to start with because it's just easier for me to track things that way. Then we're going to touch up the black parts. So for the bottom, I want to do the black goes on the front and the rear and the sides, although we're going to probably put mesh over there. I want that to stay yellow, and then our trims here are going to be black. So I'm going to paste that. All right, we're getting there. I think that's a mesh, so I'm going to copy that, paste that to the front here. And then I think I have black mesh on the sides. So I'm going to copy that and paste that over here. And that should be sort of good. We'll do a test render here in just a second just to see how it's looking. First I'm going to save it over this. Hierarchical Material preset, black and yellow, save. Yes, don't save the settings on the Genesis figure. The rest of this should be good. Alright, let's do a test render and see how things are looking. I'm rendering a thumbnail. Let's stop that. Yes, I would like to. We are gonna render out the thumbnails for these in a minute. Well, a couple of minutes. We're gonna render big just for our test render here, 1024. We'll do that. See how things are looking. That's looking about right. That mesh isn't really thin though, is it? I don't know. I might tweak that a little bit, or I might just leave it. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm relatively happy with how those are looking. I'm going to live with that. Close that. Yes, we're stopping. Come over here. So we are actually halfway through. Now we're going to do the dirty versions. And in this case, it should have a dirty camera. I'm just going to put a dirty camera material on here and not worry about that. And then we'll just come over here. And I can't remember. Back over to the surface tab. That's just a regular opacity map. Okay. So copy this. I'm going to stick that on all of this to begin with. Then I'm going to come over here, grab that trim and copy it. And apply that to the trims over here. Alright, and that is ready to be saved. So that's the worn version. Hierarchical Material preset right there. Aqua and silver, worn aqua and silver. Alright, moving along. That is the black and aqua, and that's got mesh here and on the sides. So I'm going to start with this and apply it to those. Then we're going to grab and do the trims. I missed, and I got that. That shouldn't be there. And then I want to do, that should be mesh there. So I'm going to copy. That's a little bit different. And then we're going to apply it to there and there. And then this should be ready to be saved as the dirty black and aqua. Right there, worn black and aqua. And don't save that. And these should be checked. I keep peeking at them anyhow, just in case. Alright, we're moving on to this. I think there's a... Yeah, I'm going to copy you. Come over here. Grab these. Do the paste thing. Let's do the black now. And we're doing the front and rear, and the sides is a little different. And then over here we are doing the trims on the top. So pastes that. Then I want to copy this because it's got that mesh transparency. It's hard to see in this view. And I'm pasting that there. And then these side panels have got a mesh transparency on them, so I'm going to copy that, paste it there. And that should be good for this one. So I'm going to, right there, black and yellow. Try not to save over the wrong file. That will behoove me later. think this is, oh, you know what? That's supposed to be black right in there, isn't it? We can fix that. We have the technology. On a side note, wife says, oh, say howdy to the wife for me, Art. Hope she's doing well. Copy. Paste. All right, now I'm going to resave that. I probably have to resave this one because there's supposed to be a little black strip there on the waist that I think I didn't do. Material, hierarchical material preset. There we go. And you are, I'm redoing the black and the yellow. Saying yes to that. She's always doing well. Her and that DJ Ray. DJ Ray's always doing well. Whenever you ask him, how you doing? You know me, I'm always doing well. So your wife's one of them people. I think this is good. All right, moving along to... Some people just got that. They do. I think they drink too much. Not saying. Copy that. Come over here. This just goes onto the trims. And I missed one. There we go. Paste those. And save that. We got 2 more to go. I gotta redo one of these though. There we go. Gonna do that. I think this is on green and silver. Yeah, that looks like green. She got a kick out of drinks too much. All right. 2 more to go. So I'm applying that. There's a hidden Genesis 9 in here, so that's what I'm doing. It's applying the G9 version, then we overwrite it with a G8 version. Let's copy that. Come over here. And apply. And then come over here and get that trim. Come over here and apply that to the trims on the top and the bottom. Paste, 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 paste. There we go. Should be good. We're going to shuffle this into a clean directory and start checking things to make sure everything's clean. All right. And red. So I do know that these are the Genesis 9 versions of the thumbnails, but we're just going to leave them there because I'm a slacker that way. I know, oh my gosh, I'm using Genesis 9 thumbnails with the Genesis 8. Will Daz let me get away with that? Don't tell him. Crying out loud. Paste that. Copy that. And then paste that to the trims. Save that. Should be good. All right, I think I got to tweak this just a little bit. Yeah, I want that little strip right there to be black, so we're going to fix that. I know, I don't drink enough either. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I actually feel better not drinking. Damn it. Oops, that's the wrong texture. I'm going to copy this and then paste that. And I sleep better. It's not fair. I want to be a happy alcoholic. I'm overwriting the black and yellow because I've changed the waistband to black. All right, we're good. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. We're gonna just take a quick double check through our systems here. All right, I have all of the main swimsuit is done, top, bottom, camera, and then a complete outfit. Our materials are all done. Our D-Force presets are all done. Hey, Napsmore, how are you doing? Our hierarchical material files are both all done for Genesis 8 and Genesis 9. Daz is being funny. It's not letting me see the bottom line down here. Let me see if I got to tweak that so I can actually see that says G8 female. Looks good. My shaders all say Akvo now. So I think those are all good. Let's go take a quick peek over at the Genesis 9 stuff. Those are all set up. My materials are all looking good. Our D-Force presets are all done. The G9 hierarchical material presets should be good. And my shaders are all looking good. All right. I'm going to pack everything up. I'm going to move this into a new clean directory, a test directory. We're going to unpack it, and then we're going to load everything out and see if it still works. I'm going to use the top secret validator file that Daz makes all PAs use that helps spot errors. I will sneak that over to screen too. And then we're going to clean up whatever it says needs to be cleaned up there. And then it would just be a matter of making promos. And it's just about a Daz product. So let's do this. We have a file over here somewhere. Last bottle of wine lasted a couple of years. I have to say, if I did have a bottle of wine, it wouldn't last a couple of years. It's not that I had a seltzer not too long ago. But other than that, and apparently my neighbor can drink, so I have some Sam Adams. I want to, so on Sundays I'll give him a call, and if he wants to get together, I might have a Sam Adams on Sundays. And then I'll probably regret it Sunday night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Coke was doing that to me the other night. The indigestion was getting to me from the carbonation. You keep forgetting it's there. Yeah, you're not a prepper alcoholic, are you, Rod? What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to rename this file so Daz can't find it anymore. So I'm just going to do this. We're going to hit rename. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to put a hyphen on the end of that. So now when we come over to Daz, and if I refresh this, it's going, hey, I can't find this stuff anymore. It's gone. Dude, I've lost everything. Where did it all go? It's completely lost. I'm trapped. Down here, I'll refresh. Nothing there anymore. Okay, now we're just going to pack everything up. Sadly, you had to cut back on caffeine free. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know. I might have to cut back on caffeine, but I haven't. I'm just going to have the heart attack. Let's see. No coffee, heart attack. No coffee, heart attack. I'll take the heart attack. No, don't be like Chris. Don't take the heart attack. Okay, we're going to package up this stuff here. Let's take a quick peek at my templates. Okay, so I do have the template fill. I need a template in here for the camera. Let's go get that. We're going to grab that out of, I'm going to make that using Blender. Not that Daz actually uses the templates. I think they've just been ignoring them. I still keep making them, though. I just feel it's good for them. If Daz doesn't use it, that's on them. Alright, we're going to import. I'm going to come over to your mother and grandmother stroked out. Yeah, I could see not wanting to do that. Beach party. This is our sporty swim right there, and it's now crippled directory. I'm going to just sort by date modified, grab this camera here, and hope that that's the latest and the greatest. We're going to come, there we go. Let's come up here into UV editing. Let's select everything. I'm going to save that as a template. Export the UV layout. You know what? I'm just going to save it 4096. Doesn't make any difference. Not that anybody ever wants to retexture this camera. I think it's just good form. So, Ocvo camera UVs. And I'm going to save you over here in the templates. Right there. Export that. Should be good. I think I've got everything I need. Okay, so we got, there's that. So there's the two template files. There's the camera. There's the swimsuit. I know it's inefficient, but it's really neatly laid out. So I'm going to check my data. I think I've got garbage in the data directory. I think I saw 2 tops or something. Maybe I didn't. No, I think I'm good. I thought I had 2. Maybe that was another swimsuit. Anyhow, I think we're good. So we're going to package the data, the people, the runtime, and the templates. So I'm going to zip those up. I'm going to rename that. This isn't called Sporty Swim anymore. It hasn't been for a little while. Ocvo, that's Esperanto for water. I am that lazy. Ocvo Swim G9 G8 female. Alright, I'm going to copy that. We're going to go over to one of the test directories. I think number 5 is the next one. So we're going to just delete everything that's in here right now, because that is a uploaded and live at Daz product, so I don't need this folder anymore. We can paste this in here. I lost it. My copy and paste didn't copy and paste. Let's try this again. Right there. Let's copy you. Control C. Let's go back over to here and paste that. And then we're just going to unpackage that right here. Extract here. So this is more or less what the product, what's in here is what I will end up eventually uploading to Daz. So, and we use that hyphen so I don't accidentally reference any files in the whip folder. Should be good. So I know that I can't leave that there when I run the validator, or it will complain. And we'll come back over here. I'm going to just save this and close it. And do File New. Yeah, these golden ears things. You want your money back? Mm-hmm. All right. So I moved everything into this test directory. If we refresh this, we should now be able to find our Ocvo, Swim, Genesis 8 So all that stuff we were just looking at should now be over here, and it should. So we're going to load everything out, check it, and make sure it works. Actually, I'm going to use the top secret validator file. Are you locked? You're locked. I'm going to drag you here, and we're going to put you over on the screen too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a scan on this folder here and see how many errors it kicks up. So it's doing its little business off to the side. Usually it will find some unreferenced texture files. Because I sometimes get a little sloppy. And that's exactly what it's done. So I ran it and it found 2 files that aren't being used. And it's a file called metallic worn height, and there's a metallic worn normal. Those aren't being used because they're the same as the unworn versions. So I just need to get rid of those. So somewhere in here are 2 files. See that right there? That is exactly the same as this file, so there's no reason for it to exist, and I didn't even use it. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And then this one right here, same thing. That's exactly the same as this file over here, so I didn't use it. So we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to just run that validator again, just to make sure it comes up nice and clean. Then we're going to just load everything in and make sure it's working. Hey, all right. So the top secret validator says I'm good to go. I have a nice clean package here. So now we do the test loads. And we're going to do a couple of posing tests too, just to make sure it's working the way I think it should be working. I might make one more morph that might make it a little wider in the front, but other than that, we're pretty much done. So here, I'm just going to load in a Genesis 8. We're just going to run through and basically click and load everything in and make sure it comes in without errors. So there we go. Select that. Put the top on her. Put the bottom on her. Bring the camera in. Okay, that all loaded with no problems. This is the complete outfit, so put that on. I'm going to select her, move her around. Seems to be working fine. Okay, now we'll just test all the materials. Make sure nothing kicks up an error. It shouldn't, because it all cleared through the validator. But still, I'm just going to double check. And I'm going to just zoom in and make sure the camera actually got dirty. See, there's the dirty texture. There's the clean texture. There's the dirty texture. There's the clean texture. Okay. Some of these are just harder to see, so I'm just going to run through them real fast here. Select that. And displacement off. Displacement on. Opacity full. That is the spandex base opacity. That is the spandex with a mesh opacity, so that worked. I'm just going to do the same thing down here. No opacity, spandex, and spandex with the mesh. Alrighty, I can do both of these at once, so I'm going to select these and just apply these material files and make sure they all do what they're supposed to do. Aqua, got black, that's gold, neon green, I got the pink, red works, silver, gotta get hydrated. That's my excuse. If it wasn't for coffee and water, I would dehydrate. Or water and coffee. Alright, those are looking good. Here's the dirty versions. Looking fine. It's fine. Looks good. Alrighty. Silver looks a lot like white, except it's shinier and you don't see it here. Not safe for work. She's got clothes on. Dude, she's totally got underwear. She's got underwear under her swimsuit. That's how safe for work she is. It's almost 80. Dang. It's 40 here. Don't want to nip. No, we don't. No, sirree, Bob. That would be bad. Okay, that is looking good. I'm going to check the hierarchical materials now that we just saved. I'm going to turn her into a weird color. This way, if I inadvertently saved her settings in one of these files here, we'll see the change. So we're going to select the Genesis 8 female. I'm just going to put this base shader on here. On top of that, I'm just going to give it a really weird color. So if she changes colors, I know one of these is screwed up. We have to resave it. So now these should work from anything that is selected in here on this figure. So I'm going to actually just select the camera and then run through these. I'm getting spammed with 1775, 1776 coffees. I guess I say that word so much. Route row. Alright, these seem to be going fine. She did not change color. That is good. And when I double click this, I'm making sure the camera along with the top of the bottom change. We seem to be fine. I see the camera did go dirty, although you probably can't see that on stream. Alright, those all checked out. I'm going to put the default texture on here. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to run the D-Force and just make sure it kind of does what it's supposed to do. That looked good. So let's turn that off. I'm going to turn D-Force off on the bottom and off on the top. We have presets for that, so we're making sure they work. So when I do this, that should happen. So that's basically saying, hey, there's nothing in here I can simulate. That's right, we turned it off. All right, let's do the default D-Force on the top and simulate that. That looks like it did what it's supposed to do. I'm going to turn that off and just check that. Looking good. All right, we're going to put full on here. This should look a little bit different than the default. It should maybe get a little... That doesn't look a lot different. I think if I take it off the figure, we'll see the difference. Let's do that, just so I can double check and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to load in a top here. I'm going to put that top right over there. I'm going to load in another bottom. I'm going to take that bottom and move it over there as well, so we can double check these settings. So I have the top selected. I'm going to apply the default. Actually, let's turn them off. I'm going to turn that off. Turn that off. I'm going to make sure that is off. Ah, coffee. Nectar of the gods. Alright, I should get an error when I do that. Yep. Alright, let's check this top. So this is the default. It should move around, but it probably should stay right about there. Maybe not. Oh, there it goes. It's bouncing around. And that totally... in that way that shirts and tops really don't in real life. So that's looking good. So if we do the full D-Force, it should just drop. That's what we're looking for here. So that just dropped, and it got caught on the bottom. So that's working. Let's do the bottom. Let's try the default on that. That should move around a bunch, but not actually fall to the ground. See, it really doesn't. So I had this set at like 90% dynamic. I'm going to bring a plane in here just so they have something to drop against. Okay, now we're going to set this to be full. Then we're going to run this again, and they both should just drop to the ground. Okay, those are working. I don't really need to test these. I haven't changed anything to them. And you know what? Daz doesn't like object specific. I'm going to get rid of these. And I think I just needed them. So let me just cut those. I'm going to just move you up here and paste that right there. And then we're just going to come back down here. And I'm just going to rapid fire test my shaders out. So let's come over here to the surface. Are you my surface thing? You're not my surface thing, are you? No. Surface tool, that's the surface tool. I knew that. All right, I'm just gonna, that's looking fine. I'm gonna switch over to headlamp for a minute while I test these. Mostly I'm just making sure it doesn't do something funky. Here's a fishnet. Opacity full. That is a tiled gauze. It looks weird here, but the tiling isn't showing in texture shaded mode. That's why it looks weird. And there we go. So that's looking fine. And then we'll just run through the colors here. And all these do is just change the color and the top coat color. I haven't tested these in a while, so I guess it doesn't hurt to take a quick run through these just to make sure they still do what they're supposed to do. Find some error in here and realize it's in 50 products that I've already uploaded and have gone live at Daz. I don't even know if the Daz testers test these anymore or not. Those seem to be working. I'm not going to bother with the Genesis 9 versions of these because they're exactly the same thing. All right, these are good. This is good. Now we're just going to test the Genesis 9 versions. And then we'll do some D-force testing. We'll pose it a couple of times and run the sims. I might add one more morph in here to allow the front of the bottom to get wider. But other than that, I could actually share this with people. I think. That's why we're testing. We're going to test the Genesis 9 now. Get a Genesis 9 out here. I still have almost an hour on left to stream. All right, there we go. Let's do that. All my morphs are optimized for the female figure, so I'm just going to dial that in because that's prettier, a little prettier than our androgynous. Are they them? There we go. Back to here. Do that. The camera by default comes down here. Looking fine. All of that loaded in. Just fine. Get rid of all of that. Test that. Looks okay. Oh, I think one or two of my adjustment morphs might need to be tweaked a little bit. I forgot about that. I think they're on this one. We'll have to test those. So that loaded in okay. I'm not going to test these as extensively as I did the other ones, but we're just going to, just double check. I'm turning that bottom off and I'm going to turn that top off. We'll run the sim and it should say, hey, nothing can simulate. Okay, let's do the top. There's the default. Simulates. Did it do anything? I wasn't paying attention. Let me run that again. Did I save you? Okay, I saw it move. I think we're good. Alright, let's turn those off. Let's put the default on here again. I'm just double checking. Okay. There's a little bit of contraction on these D4 settings. So that looked fine. Because it's on the figure, you're not seeing the full really do much. But that looked fine. We're going to reset that. And then we'll just check the bottom. I saw it move. Ooh! Oh, I didn't even notice he said you got the mug in the coffee cup. Coffee cup like this? Rod's a rock star. Okay, that seemed to work. Let's do the full and double check that seems fine. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's check our hierarchical material files. Genesis 8 has got these stupid eyes, so we're going to also check the surfaces on them as well, just to make sure I didn't inadvertently save something there. So we're going to apply that weird shader there, and then I'm just going to make this a really odd color. And if that changes with these, it means that we have to resave something. So I'm just going to save that, and we'll just run through these. I'm going to turn you into dirty for a second. I want to see if this... Okay, the camera got clean. All right, we're good. All right, so we're just going to run through these real fast. If that figure suddenly turns orange, it means something does not stay orange. It means something screwed up. I think that's good. Is the camera dirty now? Camera's looking dirty. Is clean. Is dirty. Is clean. Is dirty. I think we're good. Alright, let's test some... Let's do a little bit of pose testing. Actually, I'm going to reload. I want to double check these. Let's come back over here and let's reload this. I'm going to just take a look. Oops, we missed. Let's put that on the figure. There we go, that's better. And let me just see if we've got everything named and organized in here nicely. All right, all of that looks like human names. These are hidden, so that shouldn't make any difference. Everything should be limited to 100, so that stopped at 100, so that's good. I'm going to just test these. I think some of these... See, that one there needs to be fixed. I saw a little bit of weird poke through. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That was looking okay. That really doesn't do anything. I want to take a look at that again. I'm going to tweak that one just a little bit too. That's fine. That's fine, and now I've lost the was that? That was adjust left, adjust right, expand all, loosen the collars, loosen the midriff, loosen the neck, waist lower and waist upper. I think this is all fine. So I have a couple I want to tweak. Let me see if there's anything down here. When I was looking at this, I didn't notice anything bad. I want something that's kind of going to make it wider, but I want it to be a little bit smoother. That's a generic crotch width. I just did that. These are good. I think I just have the two on the top that I want to tweak. And then I want to double check the morphs for the Genesis 8. Also, let's go check the special morphs. Probably okay. And they got their nice colors. Did you do something weird? Oh, that's because I've got two morphs on at the same time. Yeah, I think those are going to be fine. Alright, I'm just going to do... I probably have to restart after we fix this. So we're going to fix two morphs in here. We're going to use GoZ to do that. One of them was the adjust back, I think, has this little weird clip, so I want to fix that. I'm going to come up into here. I'm going to grab this name right here. Copy that onto the clipboard. Accept that. Now we're going to just select the top and Genesis 8 just to make sure I've got the right things. And let's do the GoZ and let's accept that. And we wait a minute for ZBrush to load up. That is almost okay. I could probably get away with it because it smooths out, but I don't want to let it do that. I want it to look good without having to use the smoothing. So we're just going to pull these out just a little bit and then resave that. Just like that. Let's go get the other side. I should have turned the mirroring on. Alright, should be good. I think, yep, let's go Z. So in here, I'm going to type in that name of the morph there, and override existing morph, and accept that. And it should now not do that poking through when we do this. See, now we're not seeing that poking through, so that's good. I think there was one of these shoulders back, I think was just a little bit. So we're going to clean that one up as well. So I'm just going to copy that. And then we'll just run over here and do the same thing. ZBrush is still open, so I just want to, and I'm going to use the X key and do the mirroring. And we're just going to pull that up just a little bit there. And we've already done the other side. There we go. The power of mirroring. Control V, overwrite, accept that. Should be good. So I'm going to save those two as a modified asset. So I'm going to use my secret tool button. I've got the wrong thing selected. Cancel that. I need to select just the top. Modifier asset. Base. And we are looking for adjust back and adjust shoulders back. I'm only going to just resave those two. Accept that. I think those are good. I had a thought of something else I wanted to check, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh well, let's test some poses, and then I'm just going to make one more morph to widen that front out a little bit more. Oh, now I can't see chat because ZBrush is in the way. Hey, Toilet, how are you doing? Toilet, so cool he gets his own command. You can go away. You can. There we go. ZBrush, yes. My guy. Alright, 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 alright. I'm going to move my content library over to screen 2 where you can't see it for a couple minutes. I'm going to run back into my main directory, and you never know what sort of naughtiness is hanging out in there. How do you spell people? People, there we go. Genesis 9. I'm looking for poses. Poses. Daz, base poses, there we go. Base female, I'm going to use those. Here, we can bring the content library back now. Alright, we're going to apply some poses, run some sims, and make sure everything looks okay. Let's do that. It actually doesn't look too bad, but it's designed to simulate, so we're going to run a simulation on it. Yeah, we may want to adjust that crotch a little bit. That's fine, though. That's the way it's supposed to work. Let's try... Let's drop you on the ground and run that sim. Let's see how this goes. Seems to be okay. Let's run a couple of more. It's working. Alright, I'm fairly happy with that. I think that's going to be good. Alright, we're going to run a couple of poses. Actually, I want to add a morph to here. So let's do the Control-Shift-F that. Let's clear that. And I just want to make it so we can make the front maybe a little bit wider if needed. So I'm going to send that over in the Blender. And maybe I should have it... Do we want to do it left and right, or do we just want to do... I think I'm just going to widen them both. I think we'll do that. So... I do this with Blender because I'm just not that good with ZBrush. So we're going to come over here, mesh resolution, switch that back to base, mesh smoothing, take the smoothing off. I'm going to export that. I'm going to just stick that in the now hidden whip file, which is over Sporty Swim. Sporty, there we go. Whip. I think I'm going to come into morphs. And you know what? I'm going to overwrite this one right here. I probably could have used that, but no, I'm overwriting that. I'm going to say, would you like to replace it? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to accept that. I got Blender open, so let's get Blender up here. We had Blender open because we were playing with the camera, but we don't need that camera anymore. I'm going to import... I'm going to get a copy of the Genesis 9 in here. And we're going to go get that bottom we're working on. If I can only remember... Aqua Swim. That's probably... It can't find it anymore because we renamed it. We're clever that way. There we go. Morphs. I choose you. Pikachu. No. Let's sort by date modified. Right there. Today. Open that up. I want to just tweak that just a little bit. I want to just pull this edge out just a little bit. So, I mean, maybe from here to here. And let's put a little bit of proportional editing. I'm going to use a linear on this to start with. We'll see how this goes. And I'm going to take that down. I want to just maybe pull that edge out a little bit, kind of like that. Chris, I'm going to have to call it tonight. Sitting here falling asleep. All right, Charles, thanks for being here, man. You know, it's always a pleasure to catch you. Ladies and gentlemen, C.S. Bond has left the building. Go check him out. Doesn't stream, but you can still hang out with his cool Discord and buy his shit. I'm going to redo this. Where did my blender go? I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing this time. There we go. So I'm going to say GX.1. All right, too much. GX.003. A little bit further than that. GX.005. Further still. GX.01. I think that's what I want to do. Is that what I want to do? I think that's what I want to do. All right, so I'm going to do that. Now I want to do the same thing on the other side. So I want to come from here to maybe somewhere about in here. Something like that. Is that right? I think so. And then I want to move GX minus 0.01. So that moves that evenly like that. Is that what I actually think that's what I want. Let's see how this looks when we put it back. I'm just going to call that wider front. So activate export. Use the Daz preset. Come back over here to morphs. This is the bottom for the G9, so I'm just going to hide it over here. Let's say adjust front width. I think I'm going to do that. And I take that and let's pop over here and see how that looks when we load it in. There is our Morph Loader Pro. Choose a morph file. I am totally in the wrong swimsuit over here, so we're going to go to the right swimsuit. And there's our morph that we just made. So if I open that up and accept that, we'll pop over here and we'll look at that. And if I dial that in, I like that. That does kind of what I was hoping it would do. If I run the sim on that, and then I do have the other adjustments too. Okay, so we're going to add that to the adjustment group. So we got to make a couple of changes in here. I'm going to change the colors so it looks like the other adjustments. And we're going to change the path of this to actor adjustment. There we go. and I'm going to accept that. And now we're going to come over here to actor adjustment. My new morph should be right there. Oh, you know what? Do I want to stop it from doing that? Nah, I'm going to let you do that if you really want to. Yeah. Alright, I'm happy with that. We're going to save this now. We're going to kind of do the same thing we did with that other morph we fixed. And I'm just going to save that one that we just added, which is adjust front width right there. I'm adding that. Alright, I am happy with this. It does what it needs to do. I'm going to delete this, and we're going to do a couple little checks on the Genesis 8. So let's reload in Genesis 8. I want to check those adjustment morphs to see if they needed to be tweaked like the ones on the Genesis 9. They're a little bit different than the Genesis 9, so they may not need it. But I do also want to make that little wider front morph. And I am in the wrong folder, so we're going to go to the right folder. We're over here in my test 5 folder, people. You know what I got? I have a couple files over here I wanted to get rid of. No, I don't. That's fine. Let's check over here. Did I have a couple of files in here that I need to get rid of? Nope. Alright, we're good. Let's test this. I want to double check that that looked good. I'm double checking things again because I forgot to check something earlier. I'm just making sure I didn't inadvertently save this with a simulation running. It looks fine. Let's put that on. We're going to run a few tests. So we're going to do some poses and we're going to do some simulating. Kind of like what we just did with the Genesis 9. So we're hiding the content library over on screen 2 for a minute. Well, I try to remember where everything is. People. Genesis 8, female. Poses. That's props, poses. Let's go to those base poses. We're going to use those. You can come back now. And this is the classic death pose. I call this one the classic death pose because that arm right there will go right through that leg, and if you're wearing pants or dresses or anything and your D4 settings aren't right, it will explode it. Mine don't explode though because I know how to set D4s. Alright, let's test this and see how it goes. We're going to run the sim, see what happens. We'll run a couple more poses. We're trying to use more extreme poses just to see how things go. So we're trying to spot any awkward changes. You know, if the clothes flops weird or something. But I'm not seeing any of that. And honestly, this simulates, even without simulating, you can almost get away with just not simulating this. I mean, it poses fairly well without a simulation. But still, I D4 stuff. That's just the way I roll. Alright, let's test that. You've had too many explosions. Eat less beans, Rod. That's all I'm going to say about that. Is that good? I think that, yep, we just ran that. Let's try this one. Oh, I got the... All right, we'll simulate that. I'm going to take a look and see if that shoulder looking all right, or if I need to tweak something there. This is a nasty point here where things get pinched. Hey, it looks fine. It's fine. That got a little stretched. That's fine. That's fine. Am I losing my... I have to tweak my colors. I'm missing this on the colors here. I can fix that. I'm going to fix that off stream, I think. I got to double check. Some of my color maps are a little off there, aren't they? We can fix that. I got time. We got maybe a half hour. Maybe I can get those knocked in. We're almost... I think we're almost good here. We're checking... We're going to check those adjustment morphs and see if I need to fix them. I got to add an extra morph to that bottom. Control Shift F. We're going to see how this goes. This aqua texture is missing the silver for the sliders, so I have to go back and add that in. Did I turn the... Okay, we've got that. All right, we're going to check the adjustment morphs here. So we're just making sure all these names look good. Is this all set to... Those are all limited to not go above 100. Are my special morphs... They're looking fine. So the thing I was concerned with was some of these adjustment morphs. The adjustment back on the... See, this one's okay. I have to just redo the adjustment back on the Genesis 9. So I'm just going to run through these real quick just to make sure. The other one I had issues with was the shoulder back, and that's looking fine. I don't even know why I have an adjustment upper arm. Oh no, that thing shouldn't be there. Right there, that morph that says body BS expand all, we're going to get rid of that. So this is why we check things, right? So that's going to be over in data, me, swim. This is the top for the Genesis 8 female. We're going to come over here in the morphs. Chris, base. I don't know why I have this thing called product. That shouldn't be there. I'm going to double check this stuff in a little while. But my problem right now is this one right here. I don't need that. We're going to just delete that out. I'm going to delete this too and see if it still works. I'm double checking. I don't know if I need those. That might be duplicate. I'm going to be bold. We're just going to delete that. I have a copy of it, so in case this goes wrong. So I'm going to delete that out, and let's bring this stuff back and see if we get any weird errors popping up when this happens. Uh-oh, wrong outfit. There we go, I'm in the right folder now. Alright, no error messages happened. That means that was safe. Now if we take a look at this, and we come here, that extra morph is now gone. It has been properly killed. And I was over in here loosening chests and collars and things before I got sidetracked. That loosened neck does almost nothing. I can probably get rid of that. So you know what? We're going to come in here. That loosened neck right there doesn't really do anything. I can lose that. I'm going to see if there's any other. I think I saw some garbage morphs in here. This right here. These are Genesis 9 morphs that I don't need in here. So I'm just going to delete those. And I don't need those. And I don't need these. And those two can go. And those I don't need. All right, let's go take a look at the bottom. That is the, and make sure if I've got any extra morphs in there I can get rid of. See, this is looking, is that cleaner? This one's already, I already cleaned this one up. All right, we're gonna just reload this stuff again just to make sure I didn't break anything. If this kicks up any errors and says I accidentally deleted something I shouldn't, I can quickly get it back. But it didn't. We're all good. I'm just double checking this and this. Looking fine. Oh yeah, I wanted to make the morph for this. I think I can just do that with the existing file. You I don't need. And you I don't need. And I'm going to load in a Genesis 8 because I just want to make sure we're working right with that. And then we're going to load in that bottom. But not that bottom. I think this one right here is probably good. So I'm just going to grab that, hopefully. And we're just going to kind of adjust this out the same way we did with the other one. Kind of just pull those edges out a little bit. And I'm going to try to remember what I'm picking. So right here, I think I'm going to start with that. And actually what I can do is here, let's do this. I'm going to start from here to here. Is that what I want to do? Maybe we go from here to here. Yeah, and then I'm just going to hide that. And then I can select from here. Here to here. And then we're just going to move that. So, are you still? Yeah, that's still probably good. And I can move you way over there. I wish there was something that was showing me how far it was going when I did that. Anyhow, GX.01. Do I want to go farther than that? GX.015. Oops. GX.015. I think that's pushing into the leg just a touch more than I probably want. GX.013. I'm clipping the leg just a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to do that 0.013 on this. And then Alt-H brings that back, and it is selected. I can just go GX minus 0.013. And I think that's going to make my adjustment wider morph for this. Adjustment front wider. I think that's what we called it before. Yeah, adjust front wider. I'm just going to save you in another folder though. Right here at the bottom for G8F. We're going to save it right there. Make sure my Daz is selected. Hit export on that. Pop back over to here. And let's load that in. Morph Loader Pro, choose Morph. I want to come over here to the bottom for Genesis 8 female and grab that one. And accept that. Come over here. All right, now we're going to just rearrange this. We'll just double check and make sure it does what I want it to do. Yep, that does what I want it to do. And we're just going to do a couple of tweaks here. We're going to change these colors so that this dial is a little bit different color. Oops, that's supposed to be black. And then we're going to move this over to that group with the adjustments and accept that and pop over here and just make sure that that is... Oh, you're back. I'm going to double check this in a sec. We're going to save this. We got rid of you. You shouldn't have loaded. You are a bad boy. Anyhow, what was this called again? Adjust front width. It's right there. There it is. And that does what it's supposed to do. And we're just going to quickly double check those. That's good. I'm just going to save out this one morph here that we just did. One more as a modifier asset. Base. Actor. Adjustment. Adjust front width. Add that. Should be good. I'm going to delete these. We're just going to run back over here. Take a look again at the bottom for the Genesis 8 female morphs. Base. It's almost like that expand all. I thought I deleted that. And yet there it is. And there it goes. And now we're going to test this again. And now we're going to look for it and see if it's there. Expand all. It is not there. That morph we just created is now up here because it's now alphabetized properly. So I think that's good. Okay, so the only thing is I have some screw ups on the colors for the sliders on the back. We're going to run through the materials and see if we can spot those, and then we're going to try to fix those in the next 16 minutes. And then we're pretty much done. Then I just have to start making promos and things. And I can upload this to Daz maybe over the weekend. Yay! So I can save all these videos up, and I have more or less a complete project on stream. And my brain has stopped. I am checking these straps because this color is off a little bit. There should be silver on here. I'm just going to double check and see, am I using the right... You know what? I'm not using my right trim in here. So I got to resave these. This is an old setup, so let's select this and this. You know what my problem is? I'm going to just take... See, there should be a material in here, and that's why it's screwed up. The rest of them are probably good. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it over all of these. And we're going to get these two as well. And then I'm going to update that with this. There you go. That's the right texture. So this probably means that that's wrong. So I have to resave this. And then we're just going to double check and see if all the others are looking good. So we're going to resave that hierarchical material file because it's got the wrong aqua. It's got our aqua, no texture on it. And that should be, the camera's missing though. I don't have the camera on here. So I'm going to copy you. Delete those. Come into here. Put the outfit on. Then we're going to save this. Oh, and you're still, yeah, and then I need to paste this onto here. That's why I copied it, right? All right. Oops. That didn't need to be selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks good. Paste that. Should be fine. Select that. We have our camera there. Hierarchical material preset. We're going to resave over the one that's got the bad textures in it. Save over that. Say yes. Don't save that. This should be good. All right, let's zoom in. Let's check these. See, that looks good. Now we're fine. I see my slider looking good. Is good. Yay. Alrighty. I think that's good. I can't see. There's so much dirt in the way. Oh, those don't have the transparency on there like they're supposed to. We gotta fix those and resave those. Dope. Cut out opacity. That should be. I can probably. I thought I tweaked that. I did not tweak the worn opacity. All right, we're going to make a change to this. This one right here. Which one are you? Are the worn opacity? Worn opacity. All right, we need to make an adjustment on that. Open with. Okay, so what's missing is I'm supposed to have the edges around those sliders supposed to be transparent, and this isn't. So we're going to fix that. Sporty Swim? Sporty Swim's in here somewhere. There it is. Whip. I think there is a. Yeah, I think I need this Photoshop file here. Yeah. You know what? I could probably just use. Is there a difference? I don't think I even need the worn. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy this. Come over here. These black things are somewhere in here. I'm going to move Photoshop. I can't see. I got stuff in the way. I'm going to cancel you. You got a good can of P&B. What am I doing? I'm tweaking. One of these is black. Are you that black? You're the black, which means I want that to be right there. Then I'm going to save this. Save as a copy, I think will do the trick. And then we need to overwrite that worn opacity map, which is now all the way over here. And I think you are, that says warrant opacity right there. I'm going to overwrite that. Could not save because it's open in the document. Of course, you stupid Stimpy, you fool. Okay, let's try that again. And do I have to re-navigate there? Of course I do. Because Daz is just, or Photoshop is just cruel that way. Because I'm saving as a copy instead of just doing an export as. Because I was being lazy. I think that's it right there. So I'm going to replace that with that. Pop back over to here. If I do a refresh, there it is. Yay. And the world is safe once more. So let's check the rest of these. It's hard to see those sliders, all that dirt at this, but I think we're good. There we go. All right. Disaster averted. Yeah. So this is just ready for me to start making promos. This is, so basically what I will do is zip up this stuff right in here. Although I still didn't make the thong transparency for Charles. We'll do that later. I'll sneak it to him later. What am I doing? I'm browsing to the folder location. There we go. So I don't want to keep these. We're just going to zip these up, and this is what I'm going to send to Daz. So add to that. And we're just going to call that, what is this? This is Ocpo Swim G9 G8 female. There we go. Alrighty. And we're closing in on 9, so I'm probably just going to call it here for the night then. So I am pretty happy with how this is going. So I'm now at that state where I just have to start. And I don't want to be doing promos on stream because there's naked people. They're naked before we put clothes on them. So we're not doing that on stream. So Saturday we will be doing something different. I'm not sure what it will be, but it will be not this. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start another outfit or something. No naked. No naked. No. He said the N-word. Not that N-word. The other N-word. All right. Let's find somebody to raid. Call it a night. Thank you all for being here. Bluxfy, thank you for that raid, buddy. I really appreciate it, man. It was good to see you. I'm sorry I didn't notice you were streaming, or I would have popped over and said hi. That's how we should. We should be saying the other N-word. Pork, the other white meat, but it isn't. It's a lie. What are we doing? I can close you. We're all happy over here. We have a brand new spanking, just nearly ready to go to Daz product. The zip file is good for Daz. I think I'm going to maybe double check some stuff again. But other than that, I don't think I really have to. I think we have pretty much done everything I need to do. Although I'm a little paranoid, so I always double check stuff again just before re-uploading. Yeah, so let's see who's on Twitch right out. I appreciate everybody over here today.
Is that a salami in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me?
There we go.
It's a salami.
And then we gotta add. We still have to add a sound thing for Charles. All right. Hold on. Let's find somebody to raid. Let's see who is on Twitch tonight. I'm scrolling. You know, there's always Dr. DK, Lady Aethra. Maybe we'll just say, hey, we'll go hang out with Lady Aethra. I think that's the plan. That'll probably be it. Yep, I think that's what we'll do. We'll go hang out with one of the art buddies. I'm just checking, seeing if there's another art buddy on, but everybody else is probably over hanging out with Lady A anyhow. So we'll do that. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, check out my man Charles. Hey, make sure you're following Blux. Did I just make it as a Blux? I did. I am that lazy. There we go. If anybody's over on the YouTube, thank you for being there. People who are still hanging out here on Twitch, I appreciate it, man. There's the raid. There's the sub raid. Blux knows how this goes. So I will be back Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for more 3D something. I'm not sure what it is. I don't have a plan yet, but we'll see what it is. Probably something with Daz, but I have no idea. Anyhow, let me copy and paste, lady. Oops, there she is.
Okay, next.
I'm going to do that. Gonna do this. Yeah, thanks for being here, Art. Good to see you. Rod, it's always a pleasure. Blux, I super appreciate that, man. Slash raid Lady Aethra. I think that works. There we go. We're going to raid out with 4 people. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, alrighty. I'm going to say hasta la vista and call it a night. Hasta la vista, baby.